Paredes power is back, and we're all about that life.
This is Walker Yannick. You're listening to Locked On Astros podcast.
Hello and welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros. We hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. He's Brett Chansey. We are the Locked On Astros podcast. Go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Go ahead and check us out. And today's episode definitely is going to be interesting because we missed a lot of things over the weekend, but that's what we've been here for all off season. Is just walking you through what's going on with the Houston Astros, and nothing's changed here. So in this episode, we're going to talk a little bit about Imai. What did he do? Lance McCullers, what did he do in his start? And also we're going to go ahead and look at Isaac Paredes. He returned to the lineup and he powered up, so to speak. And also, we're going to talk about the situation. I don't know if we really talked about it last week, but what did Joe Espada have to say about Alvarez's desire to play left field? You're not surprised. It's not surprising, but we'll go and talk about this. But this episode is brought to you by MLB The Show 26. Visit MLBtheshow / locked on and use the code locked on to unlock a pack for you use in Diamond Dynasty. So Brett, I know that there's been a lot of games that have happened, but I do want to talk about Tatsuya Imai. This was a situation that got a little scary. I know he threw 10 pitches, 8 of them were strikes. I know he was up in the 92 to 95 miles per hour range, but when he got hit by Marcus Semien of all people in the Shin, that got a little scary, right?
Well, I mean, I guess. I mean, he got removed from the game after that, but it wasn't because he was injured. It was just, precaution. It's spring training. You know, results matter, kind of. But him being able to get between 92 and 95 on 8 of his 10 pitches, he had the movement that you would want to see. He wanted to pitch right away. That was his emphasis in spring training when he came in. And it is one of those things where what you have to do is you have to see how does his arsenal play against major league hitting. The deeper you get into spring training, the more you're going to see Tatsuya Imai and what his arsenal does with major league grade hitters on the opposite side.
And we can't forget that this is the first time really that he's thrown with this type of baseball, because they throw a different baseball in Japan. And so he had to make the adjustment and basically just get used to the pitch clock and respond to getting hit in the shin. So the Espada said, well, we thought about bringing him out for another inning, but Imai said the plan the whole time was for him to go out 1 inning. And but because of the low pitch count, I think Espada was tempted to send him out for a second inning. But with the getting hit in the shin, I think that Espada was going to play it safe. I think that everything's probably good. I don't think he's going to miss
he's fine.
But this is definitely a new environment for him. He's just trying to get used to everything. So it was good to see Imai out there. He's just getting used to new battery mate, new pitching coaches, and just new team. And so I'm glad. I know that he is a alternative for Team Japan, so he could be called to go pitch at a moment's notice. But I'm glad that he's got to come to and spend some time with the Astros.
Yeah, definitely. Some other guys that we can talk about, I think, that are significant, Lance McCullers Jr. and also Mike Burrows. We'll get to him towards the end of this segment. But Lance McCullers looked good. A 1-2-3 inning, only needed 8 pitches to get in and out of the inning, 94.6 miles per hour. And it's exactly the opposite of what I anticipated to happen. I'm not saying I was anticipating him to fail, but good Lord, listening to him when he first talked to the media in spring training, you were going, man, this guy's like, sounds like he's writing his own like athletic funeral, like he was writing his eulogy for his career. And he goes out there and does well. The real test is going to be, how does he do throughout spring, and does he hold up? And if he holds up and does well for spring, Lance McCullers Jr. will be a candidate to take that 5th or 6th spot, but I'm not placing him higher than 5th or 6th because of the success and hopefully what we'll see this spring from the other Astros starting pitchers.
And I don't want to put words in his mouth or what he was thinking about at the time, but sometimes when you go in, you've been, I guess you've been used to getting injured or not having the success that you want. You know what you're capable of. You kind of have this built-in excuse, and you're like, well, if this doesn't happen, let me just go and put it out there. I don't know what my future is going to be, but I think that what we saw today was the fact that he's making that adjustment, and what he's doing is he pitched the entire inning out of the stretch. I don't know if this is something that he'll do the entire season, the entire game, but this was something that he did, and this is something that he's trying to keep it simple. Instead of having the full windup, he just pitched out of the stretch, and just trying to keep the movement simple. And whatever it takes for him to kind of get into the feel of things where he can stay healthy for a whole season, he could pitch out of the stretch. I don't care. But he was hitting 94.6, about 95 miles per hour. So that looked pretty good. So I'm going to need to see a little bit more, and I think a lot of Astros fans are going to need to see that. But it was a good first step for Lance McCullers, because there's a lot of people out there that don't believe in him. But I think you and I, Brett, we want to see him succeed.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see him succeed, but execution, that's what it's about. Can you stay healthy? Can you execute? Do you know where the pitches are going, and how are you feeling, not after just one inning, but how does he get back up on the mound? But Mike Burrows, this guy, Eric, is everything that he was advertised to be and more. Joe Espada talked about how he keeps players on their toes in the field because he works quickly, he works efficiently. He's been absolutely dominant, a 0 ERA, 4 strikeouts in 3 innings this last outing. Phenomenal. And I'm just going to say it right now. Burrows is my leading candidate to be the number 2 pitcher in this rotation, right behind Hunter Brown. No disrespect to Javier, no disrespect to Imai, but there's no way I'm putting anybody else behind Hunter Brown that's not named Mike Burrows. And I think he's going to continue the success through the spring. So this is definitely something that you welcome as an Astros fan. A 1-2 punch with losing Fromber is huge.
I just remember all the conversations. I don't know if it was us having these conversations, but when the Astros traded for Burrows, everybody was saying, oh, he's going to be the 4th or 5th starter at best. And I made a comment one time and said that he could potentially be the 2nd starter in this rotation, depending on what Christian Javier does. And that's before the Astros got Imai, of course. But a lot of people are like, Eric, you don't know what you're talking about. But the Astros went out and got this guy for a reason. They knew that he had what type of stuff he had. And it all goes back to that one game against the Houston Astros last year where Dana Brown said, yes, he saw the stuff right away. And so he did what it took to get him in here. And so I know you can't really look at what happens in spring training and say, oh, it's going to instantly happen in the season. But Burrows has that history. He does have some MLB experience, unlike Imai. I'm not saying Imai is not going to have success, but you have McCullers and Burrows. They both have that experience. So I guess with the McCullers, you have that injury unknown. But Burrows, you have that, coming to a new team unknown. But with Imai, it's kind of like, how is he going to make that adjustment?
Yeah, Imai is a much bigger adjustment. I don't think Burrows already proven he's a major league pitcher. But hey, to round out this first segment, Josh Hader still limited to playing catch. I don't foresee him being here opening day. If I'm the Astros, I'm slow walking him. I'm not even bringing him in until late March, maybe mid-April. De Los Santos mound work resumes next week, and Joe Espada is calling it premature, but it's notable, and there's no panic right now with Josh Hader, but I would not expect him to really be making any splashes anytime soon.
All right, guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen. When you get back, Isak Paredes, he returned to the lineup. What did he do?
College basketball is nonstop. Big games, tight spreads, momentum swings every single night. From early tip-offs to late-night West Coast shootouts, there's always action on the board. And now FanDuel is giving you a way to turn that energy into even bigger potential wins with the college basketball parlay profit boost. You can build any college hoops parlay you want, rivalry games, ranked matchups, and more. You can mix spreads, totals, and player props to match how you see the slate playing out. Now, what I want you to do is to not just go safe. I want you to go bold. Ride with the team you've been following this season. It's your parlay, your style, now with more upside behind it. Head to FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com. Play your game.
I know the Astros are getting ready for the season, but you've got deadlines stacking up. You got a lot of emails in your inbox, and you also have to fill that position that you needed to fill like yesterday. Well, that's what Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It's here to help you reach the people who actually fit what you're looking for. Skills, experience, location. So you're not just hoping the right candidate stumbles across your post. And in the minute I've been talking to you, companies like yours have made 27 hires on Indeed, according to Indeed data worldwide. So if you're hiring, spend less time searching and more time interviewing candidates who check all your boxes with Indeed Sponsored Jobs. And listeners of this show will get $75 sponsored job credit to help you get the premium status it deserves at Indeed.com/podcast. Just go to Indeed.com/podcast right now and support the Locked On Astros podcast by saying you heard about it on this podcast. Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions do apply. Need to hire? That this is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs. Hey, Astros fans. You've been an Astros fan for a long time. I've been doing this podcast for 7 years. That's what I've learned the other day. But you have become an everydayer. So go ahead and join the Everydayer Club. This is something that where you can get access to the group chat with Brett and I on Discord and other listeners of the show. Just go ahead and tap in the show notes or go to lockedonastros.supercast today. Hey guys, thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So I know a lot of people were making a big deal. Well, is Isak Paredes healthy? He has not appeared in a game. The Astros are the spring training is almost halfway over, and Paredes is not playing. And we'll talk about Alvarez in a little bit, but Alvarez hasn't even appeared in a game yet. Should we be freaking out? And as we saw, Paredes played in his first game on Saturday at DH, and not only did he have extended at bats, but he cranked a home run. Yes, he pulled the home run. That's what the Astros got him for at Daikin Park. But this is one of the reasons why the Astros are going to do whatever it takes to get him as much playing time as they can.
That's right. And maybe come off this crazy idea of trading him. Oh my gosh. Can we stop obsessing over Paredes not being an Astro for once? Joe's like, he can really hit, almost like it was a revelation. Come on, Joe. Really? You almost acted surprised. I'm so done with this. Oh, we're still looking for a left-handed back. No, just go into the season with who you got. Okay. You got two lefties, Zach Cole, Yordan Alvarez. Deal with it. You put this lineup together. You constructed this roster. So it's time to eat the crow and understand that you have a roster full of the same position players, you're going to have to figure it out. And Joe, the onus is on you. Dana Brown constructed the roster. Joe, you got to make it work. So go make it work. Quit telling me that this guy can hit. No, he can hit. He's the best hitter, contact hitter on this team. He's got the most plate discipline. He deserves to be in the lineup every flipping day. You know when he gets a day off? When the Astros are off. That's when you give the guy a day off. This guy plays. He doesn't sit. He freaking plays. And I love it. I love that he walked. I love that he hit the home run. And I hope he continues to make it very difficult on the Astros brass of having this guy on the team. They should have really thought hard before they constructed this roster the way they did. I'm just telling you right now, Isaac Paredes on this team makes the Astros better.
And I know you just mentioned the roster construction, but at the same time, it was a product of the Astros desperately needing Carlos Correa at the time. They did not have Isaac Paredes healthy at the time. And so that's why they made this trade that kind of put them in a situation here. You can always go back to last offseason when they signed Christian Walker. And we all thought that was going to be a great move for the Astros. And it still can be a great move. But you have Joe Espada basically saying that Alvarez is going to be the everyday DH. He'll play some left field, but he's going to be, we'll talk about that in the third segment. Yeah. And then you have Altuve, who basically Joe Espada said, oh, he's going back home. He's going to play at second base. He'll be so much more comfortable where at his home. Go back into your, sorry, I've got Adam Sandler in my head. Don't you want to go back into, I think it was from Happy Gilmore, but I just think that the Astros, yes, they put themselves in this situation, but at the same time, they did not want to trade this guy. This guy is patient. And when Isaac Paredes was asked after the game yesterday, well, where do you see where have they told you you're going to be playing? He's like, well, they haven't given me an exact answer about where I'm going to be playing. They just said I'm going to be playing some first, some second base, some third base, and some DH. I'll be kind of playing somewhere in between there. So he's been getting most of his defensive reps at second base because that's the most unfamiliar position for him. But I'm sure we'll see him at some of the other positions soon.
No, yeah, definitely. I mean, whenever Carlos Correa needs a rest, he'll be at third base. But this guy needs to be DH. Yordan needs to be in left field. And I know they told us Yordan wasn't playing left field, but they sure have changed their tune about that. But Isaac Paredes is going to fit in where you have to fit him in, especially when the matchup is prime, especially when you're at home in Daikin Park. And Isaac Paredes, I think, is set to have a great year. Yeah, okay, you can work in some rest days realistically because you did have the injury last year, the soft tissue injury, so you don't want to overwork the guy. And, of course, I know that when I talk about putting Isaac Paredes in this lineup every single day. The point being, he is an integral part of this team's success. And if they are going to go back to the playoffs, they've got to maximize their return on investment. And you don't do that by sitting a guy who is an all-star, who will do what he can do to get on base. Now, the other half of that equation is getting the runners home. The Astros have done a little bit of that, but this season, that will be the key. How do they do when they put runners in scoring position? And does the new hitting coach, and does the new philosophy change enough for the Astros to get their heads out of the sand when runners are in scoring position?
And a lot of people will be like, well, poor Paredes. I don't know how he's going to respond to going to multiple positions. We have to remember he came from the Rays, and the Rays basically do this to everybody. They don't really have set positions. And he said, I've done this before. It's something I've been through before. It's just something I have to get used to, just not having a set position. And if that set position is DH, we'll talk about why in a second, then great. But otherwise, he's played his first two games at DH, and he's even on I think the bat he struck out, he had 7 pitches. He walked in the other bat. He had a home run. This just shows what his impact is going to be for the lineup. I know it's a spring training game. That was his first game. He played again at DH on Sunday, but if you want to make sure he stays healthy for an entire season, it'll be better for him to play DH. And I know the focus has been on keeping Alvarez healthy at the same time and Altuve healthy at the same time, but you can't put everybody in bubble wrap. You got to choose who you're going to put in bubble wrap. So we'll go and talk about this and more. Thank you for making the Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day.
Today, I'm thrilled to be talking about our sponsor, MLB The Show 26. The greatest game in baseball is back with the newest installment. Baseball fans are going to have a hard time pulling themselves away from the game. If you are as excited about the opening day as I am with baseball, you're going to love it with enhanced gameplay from MLB The Show. Gameplay enhances your experience because you're a diehard fan. You can play in franchise mode as your favorite team. You can live your dream of becoming an MLB The Show's player in career mode, and so much more. So if you're a gamer, a baseball player, or just want to enjoy America's pastime in a new, exciting way, you are going to love MLB The Show 26. Play as your favorite team and franchise players and see if you have what it takes to win and get to the World Series. Go to MLB The Show /Locked On and use the code Locked On to unlock a pack for use in Diamond Dynasty. Pre-order now. Available March 17th on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PlayStation Switch. Rated E for everyone.
Hey guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. Whether it's on YouTube, go and subscribe to us. Go and make us first listen. Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, go and check us out. So, Brett, I know that we want the season to be like MLB The Show, where you can have everybody hitting home runs, everybody staying healthy left and right. You want to see Imai just having these filthy pitches and everything. But baseball season doesn't exactly go like that. Sometimes there's injuries you have to deal with, like the Astros had to deal with in 2025. And I think the roster buildup that you've been talking about is at the fact that they've dealt with so many injuries in 2025. And they do not want to repeat those. And so part of the reason why Joe Espada has been sticking to his opinion about Alvarez and as the DH is the fact that he's been injured a lot. And as Alvarez said, well, I name a time where I got hurt playing left field. But for Joe Espada, it's not necessarily about that. It's just about I never said that he's only going to play left field. DH. He's going to get some time in left field, but did he change his tune on the MLB network? What did he say the other day, Brett?
He said he will be playing some left field. I mean, he didn't hesitate. He said that. I mean, yes, we know that, Joe. He has to play left field. That's the only way this will work. Carlos Correa will DH. José Altuve will DH. José Altuve might even sneak into left field. I don't know. Someone asked me today, why don't they put Paredes in the outfield? I'm like, Paredes isn't exactly built as an outfielder. Why don't they put Walker in the outfield? Didn't he play first base once? He played one game in 2018 for the Diamondbacks, I believe. And
don't forget
one
college and high school.
Well, college and high school, that's great. They're now pros. Or Hershiser wasn't a pitcher either. But he was a pretty darn good pitcher. He didn't pitch till college. So, yeah, you know what? Lance McCullers was also a position player. Are we now putting him in left field? No. Look, guys, that's great.
I'll keep his arm healthy.
Oh, Jesus, Lord have mercy. There's that. But, yeah, of course they're going to change their tune. They have to. They have too many guys in the same position.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they're not trading Paredes. It's forcing their hand on having to play a guy that is very, very good, an all-star caliber player. And I would say this, and I would contend this, Paredes has more long-term value to this club than Carlos Correa does.
Yeah, of course. And I think he'll be around a lot longer than Carlos Correa will be. I think that Paredes, if the Astros play their cards right, I think that he will sign a long-term extension with the Astros because he knows that he'll hit a lot of home runs here. I think this ballpark is tailor-made for him. But getting back to Alvarez, I want to expand a little bit on what Joe Espada said. He didn't just say he's going to play a little bit of left field. He said he kind of went into the mental aspect of it. He said that Alvarez plays better when he's in left field. He said that he's more into the game. He doesn't dwell on every bat at bat like he does at DH. And so
hold on. Checking notes. 2025. Oh, that's right. I said that. Off season 2026. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Trust me, we know that, Joe. That's what we've been saying.
I've been bringing up Evan Gattis for a reason.
I mean, why did it take? I don't know. I just don't believe what the Astros say in December because it's going to change in February.
Yeah, and I think it's the fact that Joe Espada got here, and then he hears everybody saying, José Altuve said, well, I want to play 155 games. And Jeremy Pena was like, well, I want to play 162 games. And Christian Walker's like, I want to be everydayer, so to speak. And then you have Carlos Correa that never wants to take a day off. So
maybe
you got to find
they want to join the everydayer club, Eric.
Maybe just go to lockedonastros.supercast.com and Carlos Correa can go ahead and do that. But I think that Alvarez can play left field. I think he's going to probably play majority of the home games in left field because of the dimensions of the ballpark. It's not not really taxing on him, and it's easier for him to play. I think certain ballparks on the road, he'll play some left field, but it really depends on. It doesn't depend on what you and I say. It depends on Joe Espada. But I think once opening day hits and he's like, how am I going to get Paredes in this lineup? You're going to have to put Alvarez in left field. That answers the question.
That's right. Paredes will be DH on opening day. You heard it here first. Paredes will be starting opening day. He will be the DH. Yordan Alvarez will be in left field. José Altuve will be at second base. And who do you have in right field? I have Cam Smith. I think Cam Smith is your starting right fielder. I think Jake Myers is your starting center fielder. I think Zach Cole is coming off the bench. And, hey, let's roll and let's rock with these guys, and let's get back to the frickin' playoffs.
Well, Cam Smith needs to do something during spring training to earn that right field job. And I know the same thing could be said for Zach Cole, but at least Zach Cole hit 109 mile per hour sacrifice fly in today's game. And so he's hitting the ball pretty well. The young outfielders are not really doing a lot. They do have a lot of walks. In fact, the Astros team has a lot of walks. They're averaging about 7.3 walks per game. So they had a lot of walks again today. So I think are practicing Isaac Paredes' state of mind, and maybe new hitting coaches, maybe new philosophy, maybe new whatever. But the Astros are doing something different. However, they can't win any ball games. They're
one game. Hold on, they're 1-6. Okay, they have one game. Come on, guys. We got to give them their credit. What are we doing here? Jason Alexander looked better today. His first outing was a stinker, gave up a 3-run home run to Marcus Semien. Today, 2 innings pitched, 1 strikeout. He lowered his ERA to 13.5 in the young spring. There is a guy, Eric, that I want our viewers and our listeners, just our audience, to pay attention to. It is a pitcher by the name of Tom Cosgrove, a lefty. Tom Cosgrove, in his 2 outings, 4 innings pitched, 3 strikeouts, 2.25 ERA. Again, spring training results aren't catamount to what they're going to do in the season always, but Tom Cosgrove is a guy that I think secretly makes noise and possibly makes it into the bullpen for this team. I mean, he's a lefty. I mean, he's a good guy to keep to keep your eyes on. Tom Cosgrove. Check him out.
Well, I know that he was a non-roster invitee, and the Astros could be without Hader to start the season, and possibly De Los Santos as well. So there's a lot of different openings. So the question is, do you have somebody that can pitch multiple innings, which the Astros have a lot of options, or do you have the traditional bullpen arm? And so that's what the Astros are trying to decide about right now. But the Astros will be Hunter Brown will be pitching tomorrow. But then you have the Astros facing Team Venezuela, and José Altuve will not be playing in that game, but Christian Javier will be making his debut. And as we talk about José Altuve, I know that something that a lot of people have noticed, especially with that home run, he was almost home run that he was robbed on in center field, but he said that he's been making a point to hit it to all sides of the field, just being more patient, more effective. And especially, I know I talked about it earlier, but Joe Espada said that he thinks he's going to be a lot more successful going back to his home, which is second base.
Yeah, well, he's actually trying to drive the ball up the middle versus the pull side, and that's what he did on that pitch. He took a ball that was high and outside, and the second pitch was literally in his wheelhouse, no pun intended. But that ball gets out in Dyken Park. That ball gets out in a stadium with a cover with no wind, and it's really good to see him getting the bat on the ball, not necessarily pulling everything. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take him adjusting. And he talked about stepping. He would, a lot of times, he would not step towards, he would step in. Basically, he was cutting himself off. And so he didn't have the bat. The bat path was cut off halfway through the zone. And so that's why he struggled a lot last year. So now he's striding directly to the pitcher and not towards home plate. And I think you're going to see José Altuve get a 153 hit season. He just needs 4 of those to get to 300, to get to 3,000 exactly by the time his contract is up.
All right, Hunter Brown's on the mound. We'll see what the Astros can do at the plate. And guys, go ahead and join the Everydayers Club. All you have to do is just go to lockedonastros.supercast.com. You can go ahead and get access to subtext where you can text Brett and I, get access to the newsletter, get access to Discord server and the ad-free version. So go ahead and make us your first listen, Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we will see you tomorrow.
Go Stros.
You had your chance.
I tried. You can